It's the question that drives us.
What is the podcast matrix?
Get your entire podcast library hosted at the Podcast Matrix. What is the Podcast Matrix.com?
Giant rampaging monsters.
Time-traveling murderbots.
Evil geniuses and epic heroes.
With all the TV shows, movies, cartoons, and video games using comic book-related stories, it can be a near impossible task to navigate and understand them all.
That's where we come in.
Let a trio of OGs,
That stands for Original Geeks,
take you by the hand and beat you over the head with seemingly useless but socially important pop culture information.
It's time for my big fat pull list.
Deep in the bowels of suburbia, 3 ordinary men take off their big boy pants and put on their sassy slacks to start podcasting. We are the members of my big fat pull list. I am Mr. X. To my left is
Pistol Danger.
and to my right,
Smurphy.
welcome to the inaugural episode of my big fat pull list. We are a podcast dedicated to simplifying comic books and all comic book related material. One of our biggest pet peeves is we go out in public and people are like, hey, you read comic books. Tell me about Captain America Civil War. What's that about? We're all tired of that. Sit back, relax, and get to know the hosts of my big fat pull list.
I like the pausing in between, like every 2 words. Because normally it's
Mike
like,
Shatner.
my big fat
My big fat pull
pull
list.
list.
Who wants to hear about things?
Mr. X is
Incredible.
about to start talking really fast. Ladies and gentlemen, again, like we said earlier, this is our inaugural podcast. This is the launch. This is episode, we're calling this episode 0. Who the hell are you? That's the episode name. Is it Who the hell are you?
Yeah, they're asking us,
catchy.
not we're not asking them.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. But
I mean, it could be both.
could be both. We want to know who you are.
Yeah.
But that's later. You've come to find out who we are. Obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you are at least at some level interested in comic books.
Or just friends and family clicking on it just to give us that support.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Grandma.
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you for that, parole officer. What we're going to do in this origin episode is we're going to give you a crash course in us, who we are, why we are, and why the hell are we doing this when we all could be doing more productive things with our lives. You know, curing cancer,
No.
saving the homeless.
Nope.
Shooting at cans on a fence.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's an afternoon right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so I guess since I've been roped into this, I guess I'll go first. So I'm Mr. X. Of course, that is not my real name. Our names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Which we are not.
But I don't want anybody knowing that I'm hanging around with you two mooks in a basement.
That's more believable.
That's more honesty right there.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Smurf basement.
Cave. Smurf Cave.
Smurf Cave.
Smurf Cave. It's where I have my weapons.
That might be trademarked.
Smurf Cave?
The Smurfs might come after you.
Incorrect.
Smurfy
There
Cave?
is a smell with an F. I'm a PH.
Smurf Cove?
Yeah. Smurf Cove. Smurf Lagoon.
Ooh, I like that. It's like a resort.
Smurf
the
Lagoon.
Smurf Lagoon.
Welcome
Come
to
dock your yacht.
Smurf Lagoon.
At the Smurf Lagoon.
So, I'm Mr. X, and I call myself Mr. X. I'm known as Mr. X because of 2 very important things. My love and obsession with the X-Men, and because they're mutants, all mutant-related material. Actually, even before I discovered the X-Men, I was a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles led to the X-Men and the X-Gene and everything dealing with mutants and X in the Marvel Universe. And of course, I do read a lot of other stuff, but that's mostly what I'm interested in. Smurfy?
Why don't you tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself?
Ever since I was 4, I went to go in the military. So
Wow,
naturally, I fell in love with G.I. Joe growing up with the cartoon.
He is a real American hero.
Which led me to being like, oh, what else has guns and violence? Punisher. So I started reading Punisher, fell in love with that, got introduced into more of the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
So that led into starting to like the Avengers, and then I started branching out into the DC Universe, and that's what really kind of got me into it. That and like the X-Men cartoon of the 90s, grew up watching that, so I was like, I want to know more about my favorite characters. How can I do that? Comic books.
Your thirst for knowledge led you to learn more about these.
The curiosity of violence led me to
violence.
Love violence.
So basically, what you're saying is that when they say, it's always the quiet ones you have to watch out for.
You're going to be the quiet one.
You're that quiet one in the corner.
Ones.
That's
Yeah.
you're the guy that's going to go postal one day in a post office.
In the zombie apocalypse, you're going to want me on your side.
Okay.
All right, well.
A raging inferno of violence.
Well, thank you for that.
I got the bullets. It's good.
Well, let's toss the ball over across the table to somebody that actually has a bit of violence in his name. Pistol Danger.
Look at that.
Yep.
So, friends.
I first started becoming a comic book fan in the 90s. Before I found Spider-Man, X-Men, and Batman the Animated Series, I had a local comic shop a friend of mine would take me to because he collected trading card packs.
Ah, yes.
I actually found a few because I was setting up. So he would open them, and I'd look at these characters, and I every now and then I'd buy a pack too, just so we could share cards if need be or whatever. And eventually I wanted to know about these characters. I wanted to know who the Wolverine was, or I wanted to know what a Colossus could be. These were mostly X-Men cards at the time. It wasn't until Marvel did the create a map of the character cards. It was 9 cards, and they created a map with a certain amount of characters.
It was like the 93 or 94 series, yeah.
Then I started branching off because by then I had found X-Men and Spider-Man, and those were the basic big cartoons at the time. And the comic books I wanted to follow with what I knew. So which were those two. I was a huge fan of Wolverine as a child, and as I grew older, I became more of a Spider-Man guy. For DC, obviously, everybody loves Batman because he's Batman. You can't not like Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman. You can't not like Batman. If you don't like Batman, you're stupid or a Nazi.
I can never tell if you're saying Badman or Batman.
I'm Badman.
Badman.
Yeah, Badman.
B-A-D-M-A-N.
Bat.
I think it translates to badass man. Maybe Greek mythology.
Nope.
Bat.
No.
Am I nowhere near the mark?
You
swing and a miss.
Swing
and a miss. He's a badass though.
Yes. Currently, I read a lot of my books actually have been canceled lately, so I'm kind of in the market for new books.
Cancel revamped. They've been doing a lot of revamps.
Canceled.
Like
Luke Cage and Iron Fist kind of got kind of taken away, and then they kind of did their own things. So currently, I read Ghostbusters and Spider-Gwen. I started picking up Spidey, but I have most of the back issues, and I don't need a retelling of them in today's time. Every now and then, I'll pick up Spider trades to kind of catch up to where I want to be. As it is right now, those are the two I'm currently collecting in an issue format. Other than that, I prefer trades, honestly. I prefer trades. I like having the whole story there. I like being able to read it at my leisure. I don't want to have to wait a month or 2 weeks. No advertisements. And I get cool art that I don't have to scrounge for or call the comic shop like, hey, do you have variant cover X? Because it's all in the back.
Also, it's a little cheaper in the long run.
Yeah.
Normally, most trades will cost you about $15 for 7 issues. They're about $3 a pop. It's $21. You're saving yourself some.
Look at that, math.
Wow. Frugal.
Just saying.
Calm down, Rain Man.
Well, it does depend because it can be a very expensive hobby.
Oh, yes. Especially when you work there and people are like, have you read this? This is great. And you do read it and you're like, oh, crap, that is good. Add it to my list. At one time, I had 30 titles going a month. It's a book a day.
Yeah,
it's a book a day. It's $3 a day.
At one time, I actually had 3 DC titles going, which will be impressive
3?
because I really dislike
3, like one-handed?
Perish the thoughts.
3. It was Teen Titans after they got revamped.
Okay.
Batman, the Detective one.
So there's like 4. There's 4 major Batman titles.
Yeah, it was the Detective Batman one.
Gotcha.
I don't
It's
remember
called
what it's called.
Detective Comics.
Was it? Okay,
Yeah.
Detective Comics Batman and Hitman.
Okay.
Which I don't, and I since have lost almost all of these except for a fair amount of the Teen Titans one. Batman, I think I gave to a friend who enjoyed it, not Smurphy or Mr. X. And then Hitman, I eventually gave to a friend only because I had the online copies, and since then I've lost the key to that. But I've found trades of it, and I'm starting to buy Hitman back again because Hitman is 60 issues, and it is fantastic.
Well, what about you, Smurphy? What are you collecting currently?
Currently,
issue-wise and trade.
So it's really kind of weird. I collect most of DC on trades. So Green Lantern. The only DC book I actually keep getting is Green Lanterns. Don't know why. It's going to get ongoing. But I get Hal Jordan Green Lantern Corps in paperback, Nightwing paperback, going back getting some Batman paperback, and I'm slowly starting to branch out because I was really pissed off at 52 because their stuff sucked. This Rebirth stuff's pretty good. So now I'm slowly diving more into
That's
DC
what
stuff.
everybody I talk to who's a DC fan that's stuck with reading. That's what everybody do. Say.
So I've been reading Green Lantern since the beginning of Rebirth, the first Rebirth, where they brought everyone back. Guy Gardner, John Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan. They brought them all back. Guy was known as like a warrior. They got rid of that power, and they're like, nope, you got the ring back on, and he got rid of the bowl cut, and he put on the sleeveless jacket, and he was good to go.
That's when he could produce any sort of weapon he
Yeah,
wanted? Or was it only guns? Or did he just only use
I didn't
guns?
dive in that far. I just saw him get rid of that. Like, they literally
Yeah.
like, zapped him, and he kind of exploded, and he came to. He was Guy Gardner again.
So
he was
he's
like,
Dr. Manhattan.
suit up, yeah. And like, he was human.
I'm back.
He was, yeah, I forget what that was. I knew who that was at the time, and I was like, oh, I had to research back to figure out who that was. But since then, in 52 got really dumb because they kind of like got rid of most of the core. The core is kind of non-existent, and Hal Jordan lost his ring. So Sinestro actually became a Green Lantern and gave him a ring. And it's really hard to stay on board with that. So that means that if you're fighting and it's like, oh, it's Sinestro and Hal Jordan coming at me, I knocked out Sinestro, Hal Jordan's dead. Like, there goes the ring and everything else because it was Sinestro's will that was keeping him flying.
So he shared a ring with Sinestro is what you're saying? No.
Sinestro willed him his ring and a power battery.
Okay.
But if Sinestro got knocked out, there goes that construct. Hal Jordan's back to being a normal human wherever he is.
Oh crap, we're there in the dead of space.
Yes. And that happened, I felt like, every 5th issue of 7.
Yeah. Well, see,
and that's why I was like, I'm out.
I didn't stick around for the new 52 because you couldn't understand the continuity.
Oh, no, the time frame is all wrong. They were
it was
within a
all over
year,
the place.
Batman had 4 sidekicks. One of them got murdered. One of them advanced to become Nightwing. And I was like, that's a lot to happen in, like, between... They couldn't tell if it was 3 years or 7 years. That's still a long time to go through 4 sidekicks and have one guy go, I've learned so much from him going on my own.
So, Green Lantern, you've been correct.
Yep.
Collecting Green Lantern. What else?
Nightwing. I actually got into old school Mask. Mobile Assault Strike Command.
From IDW has basically taken... What Mask, G.I. Joe, Transformers.
No. In their universe,
the
Mask guys go after Transformers.
Oh, okay.
And they also know G.I. Joes out there and exist too. They actually combine them into one universe.
It's almost like a Hasbro universe.
Like in the
Toyverse.
The Mask,
the Toyverse.
The Mask whole team first issue is Mayhem's like, hey, I got a group of you guys together. We're gonna go defeat anything Cybertronian. Let's roll. And then half the team was like, whoa, you're a bad guy. And so that's kind of right there the cool conflict.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, I'm on board right now. I read the first 3 issues. I think I got 5 more to go to get caught up. But yeah. Marvel is really tough because they kind of revamp stuff and kind of went back and forth. And so I've just been picking up a lot of kind of like some old school trades with that. So a lot of X-Men trades. Other than that, I think it's just Uncanny Avengers. Oh, and Deadpool. I read Deadpool.
Well, of course.
Everything Deadpool.
Good.
Everything
Of
Deadpool.
course. Everything Deadpool.
I try to, yep.
I can only take a little bit of Deadpool. I think a little bit of Deadpool goes a long way.
Nowadays, yes, because he's in everything.
Because he is in everything.
And it gets, even for a Deadpool fan, it's annoying. It's like, you trim that back a little bit. He was like Wolverine.
Well, the problem is that Wolverine is
still
like
everywhere.
Wolverine again.
Yeah.
I am a Marvel fan through and through. I am collecting more Marvel titles than anything else. I'm getting every X mutant-related book that there is.
So X-Men Red's on your list.
X-Men Red, which is coming out in February of 2018, is on my list.
They had gold, they had blue, now they have red.
They have red. There is the Weapon X book. There is the Jean Grey book, the Cable book, the Iceman book.
Wow.
Old Man Logan. All-new Wolverine.
Old Man Logan versus Deadpool.
I'm not picking that up.
I have it. You can borrow mine.
I will wait until it's placed in a trade
paperback. It's probably going to be 4 issues.
Because guess what? It's not going to matter.
No.
Because they're going to fight for a little while, and then they join forces. That's how all of these stories go.
Not the one with Deadpool versus Bullseye.
Well, Deadpool versus Bullseye was a story with no ending because Bullseye couldn't kill Deadpool.
He paid him to go into a room and eat tacos.
Yes.
And Deadpool did that. and then got bored and left.
I was very interested in some of the Avengers books, but the
Dwindle,
the writing is just a little bit wacky.
Yep.
So I only stuck with Uncanny Avengers because it was a mixture of superheroes, Inhumans, and X-Men.
That's the reason I kept with it.
And then I fell in love with the book The Champions.
Oh. Who's in that?
Because it's the younger characters.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay.
It's Totally Awesome Hulk.
Yeah, it's Cho.
It's Miss Marvel.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's Viv Vision.
Gotcha.
It's Cyclops.
Young
Cyclops from the original 5.
But not from our 616 original 5.
That's
totally different. That's a different podcast, buddy.
Well, and keep listening to hear that one.
And I am a big fan of Spider-Man. I've always enjoyed the character, but I've been obsessed with reading the stories ever since the writer Dan Slott started working on the book back in the story Big Time.
Mm-hmm.
So I've basically been collecting Amazing Spider-Man since Big Time. I'm a sucker for a crossover or an event, so if something happens, I am going to get it. I'll bitch about it later, but I will be picking it up. DC, I don't pick up anything DC, not anymore. I used to pick up Batman Beyond when it was animated series Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis continuity.
Right.
That's what I collected.
That was fun.
It was good. And then once they got rid of that, I stopped.
And it kind of went down the pooper.
Where the other companies are concerned, Image, I'm picking up in trade paperbacks. The Walking Dead, I've been doing that since the very first trade came out. There are times where I've picked up the individual issues month to month because I couldn't wait for a storyline, and then I would sell those issues and buy the trade when it came out.
Okay.
Now I'm much older, I'm wiser, I'm patient,
Let's get the trade.
and I just wait for the trade comes out every 6 months.
That's why
I can wait.
Yep.
Also from Image, Invincible. I've been picking up Invincible in trade paperback ever since the book came out.
How many volumes is that now? 15?
There's over 23.
Because that's been going on for a long time.
Yes,
it has. And here's been pretty solid the whole way
through. It's almost over.
I actually dropped it a bit ago just because I felt for a while it felt to me like they were just kind of stretching for stuff to stretch it out longer.
Well, after 25 volumes, I can see that. Where else you go with the character? So
I'm a huge, and I think this has something to do with being a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm a huge Usagi Yojimbo fan.
Cute bunny.
Very violent, but cute.
Deadly bunny.
Loves his sake.
A little bit too much.
Those swords. Ooh.
And then, Ghostbusters from IDW. That's always a treat. Turtles from IDW. That's a big thing. And then I guess anything that deal with a TV show or a movie that ended abruptly or never got a sequel.
Like Serenity, they live up.
Serenity, I picked up all the trade papers, all the miniseries for those. Big Trouble in Little China.
Yep.
Escape from New York. The Dark Crystal. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Bill and Ted have had 3 excellent miniseries that take place after their films. And of course, I love the character of Ash Williams. And anytime he goes up against the Army of Darkness or the Evil Dead, it all depends on what company you're going through.
Right.
I will grab anything for that. And the thing is, I could keep going.
Oh, yeah,
I could keep going and talking about things that I collect and I pick up on a monthly basis.
I think we all could, but what about you?
Pistol's right. What about you? What do you collect?
What do you read right now?
What
did you read?
What got you into comics?
Well, that's too many questions.
What character?
Too many questions.
Well, what character goes with what?
Okay, now we're going to have a list of questions. Okay. We're going to have a questionnaire at our website at mybigfatpulllist.com. Or, go on over to the Facebook. We're on the Facebook. We're on the Twitter. We're even on Instagram. We're everywhere.
It's true.
There's a lot of comic book related material to talk about, and we plan on talking about all of it. So we're going to leave you now so that you don't get sick of us and that you come back and enjoy the ramblings of 3 idiots who just absolutely love comic books and geek culture. So until the next episode, I am Mr. X.
I'm Pistol Danger. Bang.
And I'm Smurphy.
And we will see you next time.
That's our show, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell everyone you know about our program.
Unless you hated it, then keep your trap shut.
Have comments? questions, suggestions for future shows? Reach out to us at our website at mybigfatpulllist.com.
You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Until next time, keep your web fluid sticky.
Your batarangs sharp.
Ouch.
And your space guns charged.
That's not a space gun. That's Megatron.
Don't know why I'm using my thumbs.
No one can see what you're doing.
Nobody can see
Pistol
that.
fingers.
Although I do it too. I go bang. I don't know why.
From all of us
Yeah.
to all of you.
Happy holidays. It's July. 4th of July.
Don't forget to get
Christmas in July.
This is Delilah coming at you live.
Oh, God.
Don't forget to get Pete's sweaty ball sack.
I love the way your balls taste.
Delilah with another song to put you right to sleep. Have a great day. Good luck driving.
And Slimer.